So I just wanted to touch on this brief image here. As you guys can see, this is the cover art for Westside's Gunn upcoming album, Hitler Wears Hermes 8. And just based off of the understanding of Hitler Wears Hermes 8, Westside Gunn says that it's a play on The Devil Wears Prada. But I believe that Westside Gunn was under the programming. He's very prominent, very well known for a short period of time in regards to his ascension. You know, one makes me think that he probably was put on the programming in regards to, his altars and what his programming is about. He calls himself the Fly God. We know that the Fly God is talking about Baal, the god of flies. He loves to talk about sun worship and, being a Muslim. We know that's a cover up for certain other, alignings in regards to what he's really about. Even though, the understanding of Islam goes back to certain forms of esotericism, it is the most righteous form of, quote unquote religion, or the closest thing to righteousness, but it's still of something that's contrary to the Heavenly Father. But going into this image, you see Hitler here, and you see the colors on the eyes, the X colors on the eyes. We know the X is supposed to represent Osiris, as well as the dead. But the right eye with the yellow is supposed to represent the sun for Heru, and I'm sure most of you guys are picking up on this. And the left eye is supposed to represent the moon. And the reason why I brought this picture up is because I was going into the moon in regards to, my New Year's coverage, and how just because we measured the years and time, so on and so forth, by the moon, don't mean that we worship the moon. That's just how we measured it, because back in the ancient times, everything was more pure, and, everything was all based off of doing things as part of a system where you didn't have advanced technology and so on and so forth. Like, we really had to just do things based off of just finding your own way, and also, getting the blessing from the Heavenly Father and the power from the Heavenly Father. But things, decay over time. But based off of the fact that we live in a certain world now that's totally, lost with the annals of time in regards to how it's contrast with history. Everything is just different. It's like one of those things where, like, history is foreign to certain people. But not to digress, the yellow in regards to the coloring here on the right is supposed to be for the sun. For the sun god, Heru or Horus. And the blue is supposed to be for the moon god, the moon goddess, Selene or Minerva, Aphrodite, so on and so forth. And if you look at the history of these album covers in regards to Westside Gunn, for the most part, he always does two. He does a art one, which is most of the time is depicted of Hitler. And he does one where he has a mask on, whether it be a Chanel mask or a Margiela mask, a Fendi mask. He always depicts himself with the mask or the picture of Hitler in regards to the projects. Now, this is Hitler Wears Hermes 8. And basically, Westside Gunn is an ardent Luciferian, and he is a worshiper of the Mother Goddess. You always see him throwing up the inverted pentagram for the Mother Goddess, as well as the basketball game. When you look at the basketball game, NBA 2K, and you go to you select the menu for the teams and all that, every team, every player is only highlighting the left eye. Every team. It's not one team. If you play 2K21 and you select the teams, you'll see it. Every player is highlighting the left eye. Now, it's like a player in front of a picture of the head of the player. And the player that's in front of the picture of the head of the player is covering the right eye and exposing the left eye, because that game is revolved around the worship of the Mother Goddess. That's why you see the man, he always throws up the pentagram when you go to the menu screen, the menu loading screen, or the loading screen before you play a game or whatever. You see the white guy, he throws up the inverted pentagram most of the time. Just pay attention. I'm sure most of you guys know what I'm talking about, but that game is in heavy worship of the Mother Goddess. NBA 2K21 and NBA 2K20. Ever since they put the female teams in the games, if you understand like certain things on an esoteric level in regards to having a keen eye, you could see, subsequently why you see what you see. You feel what I'm saying? In regards to why they highlighting the woman and why You see these teams just showing that left eye. It's for the mother goddess. So yeah, just to show you guys, I'm sure you see it here. You see that left eye being highlighted. Let's just go to different teams. You see? Every single team. Luciferian game right here. Good game, but Luciferian. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't enjoy it, because at the end of the day, it's all about discernment, discretion, and understanding perspective. Right? As you can see this image here, you have Westside Gunn standing with Ghostface Killer. And, you know, for the most part, this may be a surprise to a lot of people, but Wu-Tang, the Locks, Rough Riders, all them groups from back in the 90s, they all worship Lucifer. They all worship Lucifer. Now, you guys, y'all may be incredulous to it because y'all ardent fans and y'all put these people on a pedestal, but understand certain things about what y'all see on a contextual level. These people worship the GOAT. They worship Lucifer. Even Ghostface, he always talk about Osiris and all this and that. He was into heavy Egyptology. They all worship mathematics and numbers, with the understanding of the 5% philosophy and Muslim and Islam and so on and so forth. They worshipped all that stuff. They were into all those stuff, but they didn't understand the origins of it. It all goes back to Kush. That's what it all goes back to. The 5% and shit, Islam, all that stuff goes back to Kush, who started the rebellion against the Heavenly Father. But the reason why I wanted to highlight this image here is because as you see Ghostface Killer, you know what I mean? Just slyly trying to show the Manu Carnuto hand sign, putting his hand in his pocket. And you see a lot of images like this where certain celebrities will put their hand in their pockets in this way to show it in a certain slyly way or surreptitious way. But this kind of gives off the understanding that this man could have been into the programming in regards to Westside Gunn. You see him with the Michigan shorts on, and we know about Michigan being a hotbed for, you know, MK Ultra in regards to it being CIA infiltrated, so on and so forth. But Westside Gunn, I have no doubt about it that he was put under the programming, man. It's too many signs that give it away. I'm gonna be doing more coverages on Westside Gunn and Griselda because these dudes, they are the Luciferians. I love them. I love their music. When I say I love them, I'm talking about their music. I love their music, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. You still want to call out and give people the understanding of what these people are about, so we won't fall into idolatry and putting these people on a pedestal. You could appreciate their music and their artistry, which I love. I really love their music, but at the end of the day, they're all Luciferians. They worship Lucifer. They worship the devil. As you see here, Westside Gunn again, throwing up those 2 middle fingers for Saturn, wearing the all black and white for masonry. He is a ardent Mason. Westside Gunn is a Mason. And you see the left eye shown just a bit there. Just a bit. But that's what he always does with these album covers. If you look at most of these album covers, especially for Hitler Wears Hermes, you see Westside Gunn kind of showing that left eye, but letting you know that he has to make it known that he worships the mother goddess, because in certain images, it may look as if it's not shown as far as the exposure, because you just look at it, you take a little glance, but when you study and really like stare at it, he's making it known that he worships the mother goddess, because you may see an image where it's like, oh, I ain't look at it like that, but you can see that it's more exposed than the right. Just like with this image here, where you look at it and you just look at it casually, you don't even notice that, you know, this left eye is being more exposed than the right eye. And people may nitpick at that and say, oh, you reaching, but they do these things on purpose. They do this stuff on purpose, brothers. They do this on purpose. See how he's showing that left eye, but you don't really see the right eye that much. But if you could just look at this, like I said, casually, just not even stare at it, but just glance at it, you would think that he covering both of his eyes or what have you, or, you know, it's not showing that much in regards to the exposure, but it actually is, you know. But yeah, that's what I wanted to just bring out to you guys.